Truck Talk Media.
Setn Talk, episode 219. Coverage from this year's 2021 Setn Southeastern Truck Nationals, Lebenon, Tennessee. Rad rides, rad people, Nashville. Come on. Don't forget about the alpacas. Here we go.
It's been awesome this weekend. This is a hell of a show. First time here, but everybody here was really good to us.
Damn, son. Hey guys, I've got David Odegaard, product manager, United Pacific Industries. David, what's the latest?
One of our hottest items is the side mirrors with the directionals built into them, the LED arrow. These look cool. They look original. And however, when you're driving at night and you're changing lanes, that guy that sits in your blind spot, we all know who he is. He'll see that you're indicating and you're coming over. And there's a great safety factor with these mirrors, and they look cool too.
Blind spot guy, we don't want you there, but the United Pacific side mirrors, they work great. I have them on Orange Slice. I love them. How about the guys that are looking to go long bed to short bed? What are you guys offering them?
Yeah, we have all the parts for the 67 to 72 bed, new bed floors or whatever you may need, a new bed side, or that bed front that's always been smashed in by 50 years of stuff being, hauled in the bed.
Yeah, these trucks have been worked so hard over the years. We love that about our trucks, but you might have a floor that's dinged up. You need some parts. United Pacific's got it for you. What else are you guys working on?
Later this summer, we're going to have the front parking lights for the square bodies, 73 to 80. These are full LED. They've got the deluxe stainless steel trim around them. And, it's just a plug and play installation. And it's that final missing piece to convert your square body completely over to LED.
Perfect. So if you guys need some directional mirrors, some bedsides, bed floor, or maybe some LED lighting, United Pacific, upcarparts.com. That's upcarparts.com. But wait, there's more. You can save 15% by using code C10Talk15. That's C10Talk15 to save 15%. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll see you out there on the road.
Let me tell you what Melbourne Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man, he's a television repairman. Got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
Here we go. Getting this one out ASAP. Coverage from this year's Setn Southeastern Truck Nationals. My first time out there, and boy, I'm glad I made it. Got to see so many rad rides. And again, the people. I love the people, the stories that go behind the builds, the families. It's what it's all about. Headed out to the fairgrounds, Wilson County Fairgrounds. Hotels were abundant right in that area. No problems there. Good food. Weather, that's the big thing. People kind of come out to me, how's the weather? It's a little muggy, but it's July in the South. So, but overall, it wasn't that bad. Friday, a little bit of a rain, and then once that sun breaks, you feel it. I think Saturday was pretty good because we had some decent cloud coverage, but again, I totally dig the venue. It's got the, it's a fairground. So you've got that whole kind of FFA, ag kind of feeling and buildings and outbuildings. It's pretty spread out, which is cool. It's not really, too tight. One thing for me was moving and shaking. So I was lucky enough to get a little scooter that we borrowed, and I could move around a little bit more. But overall, what a great show. Got to see some peeps. Got to see all the vendors, you know, they're all out there. Some of the guys we haven't seen in a while. Obviously, COVID is part of it, and we're getting back to normal. So, episode 219. This was the first year they did a 2-day event, which I'm glad they did. I was able to get a little pod early on day 1 and then, you know, wrap things up on day 2. So I dig the 2-day event. Now, you heard me say it on the intro, the alpaca convention. I don't know all the details, but yes, there is an alpaca convention at the same time, or a show, which was cool because people were wearing alpaca shirts. Yeah, truck guys were buying and wearing alpaca, I love alpaca shirts, going over to the venue, taking pictures with these alpacas. So another reason why it's fun, because guys are going to mess around. They're going to have a good time. They're there to have a good time. And that's exactly what we did. I met up, Dino and I rolled in, Chevy only, Mr. Chevy only. We flew in, met up with John Oro. The guys over at Brian's Motorsports hooked us up with a vehicle. So Brian and Mackie, thank you for hooking us up. 82 C10 with the 6.2 diesel. Yeah. I think it was a total cruiser, 700R4, AC blew real cold, and we drove it into Brian's birthday party. So that's the cool thing on the Friday night. Even though he's got the 2-day going with the show now, Brian over at Brian's Motorsports kind of coordinates that with his birthday, and then they have a pre-show party. So that was Friday night, and then back at it Saturday. BMS, Mackie, thanks again for the ride. Then after the show last night, we went down to Nashville. Holy shit. Yeah, I had never been. And it's like Mardi Gras, it's like Vegas, and this is just a Saturday in July. So I guess it's the bachelorette party capital of the world, and obviously country music and everything else going on. We went down there, partied it up. It was a total blast. Something, you know, I hadn't been down there. So got to see some more of the peeps down there, met up, have some food, have some drinks. But another entity to the show is that you can run down to Nashville and hang out. We, myself, John Oro, and Big Fish, we decided to just pull an all-nighter because we're like, hey, if we're going to go into Nashville, we're going to hang out, drink, party, do whatever, and they closed down at 2:33. Then we're like, we'll just go to Waffle House. Duh, no brainer. We couldn't find a Waffle House to save our lives that was open. So it was just this weird time, I guess, where they decided to close them, to clean them, and all this other stuff. We finally got one, wrapped up there 5:30. Go to the airport. There you go. We flew out this morning, 7, 8 o'clock. John and myself flew out this morning, 7, 8 o'clock. Ready to go. Rock and roll all-nighter. Slept a little bit on the plane. You could tell it's been a good weekend. You could probably hear it in my voice. So to wrap it up, Setn, great show. Brian, Ashley, and the crew, thank you so much for everything you do and the support. You guys did an awesome job. Brian Motorsports and Mackie, thanks for the ride. Great weekend, tons of content coming your way. So episode 219, stories, interviews from Setn. I also got an episode for OBS Talk. So if you want to jump on over there, that'll be probably tomorrow. Maybe the next day. We'll see how it kind of shakes out. But it should be tomorrow, and that'll be episode 40, interviews from Setn from the OBS perspective. So if you're digging the pod, you love the stories, jump on over there. No brainer, right? Okay, 219 coming at you. 218 was Trailer Park Limo with Chris Clark Customs out of Vegas. Check that one out if you haven't already. We appreciate all your support, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Late.
What's up? What's up? Day 2, really the big day out here. Saturday, Southeastern Truck Nationals. I'd say there's a lot more trucks than I thought. Just a lot of really good builds. We're spread out. It's at a fairground, and it couldn't be a better venue. Wind's blowing, which is nice because it is a little humid. I got Jody Jackson out of North Alabama. I spied this 76 K5 two-wheel drive Blazer yesterday and kind of kept looking around and was hoping I could catch him. So we got him now. Jody, thanks for taking time to be on Setn Talk. We want to get to know you and your Blazer. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me.
All right, so how'd you end up getting this thing?
I done some trading with Chris Thompson out of South Carolina, Southern Fry Garage. I had a 1-ton 91 dually, and he hit me up. I was actually on the fence about getting rid of my dually anyway. We had done some wheeling and dealing in the past, and he hit me up, wanted to know if I was interested in the Blazer, so we just sort of struck a deal on it from there.
So you were thinking, hey, I'm going to get rid of my dually. What were you thinking you wanted? I mean, were you just thinking I got to change it up, or did you always kind of want a Blazer?
This is the second Blazer I've had. I actually had a Blazer I'd got previously a few years ago from Chris, and it was kind of ironic. I actually swapped him another dually for that Blazer I got earlier. So I knew I either wanted another Blazer or just another C10 pickup.
So you guys got a little relation. You get a dually, you get a big boy truck, and then he finds a little Blazer for you.
That's right.
I mean, this thing stands out mostly because it's tool drive Blazer on the ground, but it's that green. What color green is it again?
Willow Way. It's a GM color.
So Willow Way green. For you guys, it's I don't know, thin mint. You know, it's a real low light, kind of low green. And what all have you done to it? What was it like when you got it? Kind of walk us through that transaction.
It is a full ride tech setup, front to rear. All the fab work was already done on it. And the interior was about halfway done. First thing I did, I changed the wheels up on it, put some different wheels on it, and had to finish the interior out. You know, just sound deadener, finish the rear out, a few little odd and end stuff from shifter, billet rear view mirror. Just had to redo all the audio in it. And that's pretty much all I did. It's one of the mildest builds I've ever done as far as finishing one up.
Okay, so you're all ride tech, but you're on air as well. Yes. So what kind of air management?
It's the ride tech setup, the full kit.
Okay, so then you put the American Racing. They're kind of like salt flat, Bonneville salt flat style, polished. They look like they're 20s. Okay, 20 in the front, 20 in the rear, 28, and then what? 2010 in the rear?
9.5, yeah.
Okay. Yep. Why did you go with 9.5 in the rear?
Just for one, it was easy to get a hold of. Long term, I think I want to end up I'll probably put some billets on it for sure, maybe some intros or something like that. But just we had them sitting there. For one, that's the main reason. Had them sitting in the shop. So
yeah, that's a perfect. It's like that's what I had. So how about the top? The top again for the audience, 76. So that means it's a half top. So he's got a white painted top. I'll do the walk around, and then you've got the white actually removable top. It's been worked over. Did you do that?
I did not. They had already done it when I got it. A shop up there, Kinda Low Industries, done the work and done the top. They done a good job. It took a lot of time, you know, smoothing everything out and going back over it. And the top had been repainted on it like that. But as far as the body, I'm a patina guy. It don't get no better for me. I mean, it's just patina's where it's at. All my other vehicles have kind of been patinaed, so that's the first thing that caught my eye whenever Chris hit me up about it.
It seems like you kind of move and shake through them, which is totally cool. Is this something you're going to keep for a while, or do you just love the challenge and the tinkering and take in a new foster children and then build them up and then kick them out?
Yeah, well, I don't run through them as much as it looks like. I had a really, really cool two-tone green 77 I kept for 3 or 4 years, done it from the ground up. Had a bunch of dualies that I have done. I usually keep them for a couple years, but I plan on keeping this one, like I say, and doing I want to do some motor work on it, you know, maybe do a swap on it. But yeah, I plan on hanging on to it. It's pretty cool. It stands out. So I plan on keeping it for a while.
For sure. So it's very stands out. He's absolutely right. Now getting into the notch for the tool drive Blazer guys, how much of a notch did you guys end up putting in there?
It's roughly probably around 6 inches or so, roughly. Okay. Roughly. And it's just like 2x3 tubing, you know, notched out.
And it's right behind the seat, so he's still got the rear seat in. It's looking great. He's got it in a beautiful corner spot. It's got some patina where it looks like I don't know if that was man-induced or Mother Nature-induced. Some spots look like they might be man-induced, and then with the color of the rust and the very thin green, it kind of runs down and it looks, kind of looks creepy in a good way.
That's right, exactly. Some of it is, whenever they were buffing it out, they did burn through a few more spots, but it does have a lot of original patina on it as well.
Now, when you wash it, do you clean that up, or do you want it like that and then you're going to clear it, or because you could CLR that? There's all kinds of things, but it definitely gives it that look where it's running.
Right. Probably what I'll end up doing is cleaning it up good one more time, buffing it back, slicking some of them spots up a little bit, and I might go back and clear it. But a few years ago, it was all slicked up a little bit more, so that's probably the route I'll go back with it.
When you say a few years ago, how long have you had this thing? I kind of thought you just got it.
I've only had this one, but Chris had it for a few years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever they really started working on it, he had it probably 2 or 3 years. So it was kind of a process when they done the suspension and the interior, and then it sat for a little while, and then I wound up with it.
Well, horse trading's always fun when you find out that you got a guy that likes to pick up what you got and you like what he's got, and it keeps the vibe going. Jody, where can they find you on Instagram?
J_Jackson86.
Okay, Jody Jackson, 86, easy money there. You guys check him out online. I'll do a walk around right now. We appreciate your time. Love your little Blazer, brother.
I mean, I appreciate you.
3, 2, 1. All right. This is actually going to be a little special for me. He doesn't think so, but Jeremy, I've been following you and your builds all the way Forum days. We've got your truck here. Tell us about how you got this truck and, what it means to you.
Sure, yeah, man. So, yeah, I've been following you from day one as well, by the way, and it's a real honor to do this. But this is Rustard.
It's a bromance.
That's right, exactly. This is Rustard, my truck. We found the truck about 20 miles from the house, bone stock. It's like, man, I got to have that dang thing. We saw it. It was posted up. It was what I thought was ochre. It is not. It's Yuba gold. And I was like, man, we just got to have it. We got to build it. And so it's still sitting as it was when I bought it, other than the frame mods and the air suspension and all that on it. And we love it, man. Family rides, we love it.
When you got it, did you think you would lay it out? Was that your intention the whole time?
No, it actually wasn't. I have a S10 Blazer we're building at home as well. It's still in pieces right now because this truck was planned to be like a 4.6 drop, some 20s or something, ride out, enjoy it while I built the Blazer. Well, it kind of snowballed. I ended up buying an S10 front clip. So I put the clip under it, we built the frame from there back, and then I built control arms for it, and now it lays on the rockers, on 24s, pinch wells rolled under it, so it's pretty dang low.
What air management?
It's actually just SMC valves, old school stuff, AVS box, very, very old school.
I would say you're a little bit ahead of your time with this truck, right? So you put it on the ground, you made it so we could see what a square looked just all the way down, laying pinch, rockers, big hoops. I mean, people love this truck. And how does that make you feel?
Man, it's a real honor, honestly, because I built this thing out of my 2-car garage. It was just me, my buddy Wesley. We knocked it out. Like, it took us about 4 years to build the truck, but it wasn't like, we didn't have big budgets. We just figured it out. My dad came from hot rodding, so we just built stuff. If we didn't have it, we built it, and the response the truck gets blows me away because it's literally just me figuring crap out, and I enjoy it.
You've done some bed mods back here, so for the audience, he's got the bed floor all the way up. He's got the fender wells tucked and extended, or widened, if you will. And then what's this box back here?
So that's just a lid that comes up. It's got my valves under there. It's got the battery under there. Everything I need to get to that's not under the hood is right there, so I can service anything I need to service. But it's all right there. It's pretty easy to get to. My buddy Mike Howell actually did the bed. We did the rest of the truck. Mike Howell did the bed of How's It Doing Garage. So he killed it for me. He did a great job.
Yeah, and again, just because it is an audio pod, center of the bed all the way back by the cab, he's got about a 18 by 2, 24-inch little box that you could probably push down, pull up, pop up, get your access door. It looks like you did add a different fuel cell too.
Yep, sure did. Actually, it's factory fuel tank turned sideways back here. It's caged just in case anybody ever does rear-end me or anything like that. But yeah, it's factory fuel tank moved back here. The fuel neck comes up through the bed. Just kind of a little boat door. So
I would think, okay, so that's a 16-gallon, right?
Yep.
Now, why wouldn't you just consider maybe was it just cheapness, or I guess I shouldn't say cheapness, being very efficiently with your money? Were you just thinking, I'll just do the stock one and turn it?
Pretty much, yeah. To be honest, it just didn't even cross my mind. Plus, I wanted to be able to use all my factory stuff. I want to be able to fix this thing on the side of the road from AutoZone or O'Reilly's. And that's kind of the whole direction I went with this thing, is it was planned to be a driver the whole time. It's not quite there yet because I'm scared of the tires. 25 series on these 24s kind of suck. I'm going to be stepping it up to 30 series real soon, and you're going to start seeing this thing on the road. I'm about to start driving the crap out of it.
Cool. I mean, that's music to our ears. Really, you think about it. He's part of No Regrets. He's got his gun rack holder in the back. He's got a fishing pole there. Looks like something Grandpa would have given you. How long have you been in No Regrets?
I've been in No Regrets for probably, about 6 to 8 years now. I really enjoy it. Those guys are awesome, man. Me and Wesley's in with me. We're just a family over there. It's a good time.
So you're going to add a 30 series tire. What other big mods are you thinking that you want to try to do with this truck?
Probably a 700R. I may LS swap it. It's kind of up in the air. Or I may just rebuild the 350 and ride out with that because I've got a new carburetor, I got a cam for it and all that already. So I've considered going that route, but LS is hard to beat.
You know, it's one of those things, you guys that are out there, is you don't have to have the prettiest damn truck. This truck has tons of style on its own, and I don't mean that negatively. It's a truck that's worked its life, and you don't have to stress about every little bump, every little nick, every little thing. That's what we love about these old school rides, that they were worked a lot, and now you can go out there and enjoy the hell out of it, bring it back to life, take it to shows, get on t-shirts. You were on a shirt, you've been on a few things. You've had a lot of success with this truck overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we like about it too, is we wipe it down, it's good to go. And I have a 3-year-old son that, like, actually he's 5 now, 5-year-old son, and he jumps in and out of the truck, and I don't have to worry about it because he's not going to tear it up. He's going to enjoy it, and he can enjoy it as much as we do because I don't have to yell at him about the paint or anything like that. And we don't have to worry about it. We enjoy it. So I'd like it to be a little nicer, but who wouldn't, right?
I think it's one of those things where your kid's going to grow up with this truck and always remember that. And as a parent, you can't ask for much more when your kid looks back on a good time of, you know, being in Rustard and really just enjoying that time, mom and dad hanging out, cruising, going to shows. He's here now running around, and there's not much, you know, when you think about raising your kids, it's like, that's really what it's all about. You talk about it with no regrets. It's all a family. You've got your family out here. You're having a great time at the SCTN.
That's exactly right. Yeah, absolutely. I grew up around this with my dad, so I'm trying to do the same with him. Hopefully he'll be following in the footsteps. My dad was always the lowest. Now I am.
Nice. You should come up with something like that. Always the lowest, the Churchill game. So tell us where we can get you on Instagram.
It's Churchill_NR. Been there for a while. Go check us out.
Check us out. You can check out the truck. Jeremy, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Real honor. I appreciate it, Ronnie.
We are recording with what could be, it's going to be up for truck of the show, I'm thinking. I believe you downtimed. I believe you debuted this last week. I've got Hot Rod Jeff. So if you get on Instagram, Hot Rod Jeff, or if you go back to the forum days, Hot Rod Jeff. Jeff, glad to see you got this truck out here. You debuted it at Iowa. I'm a big fan of Ginger, which was like a 70 stepper all the way on the ground. Is it 69 or 70?
70.
Okay, 70 stepper. And you had that at Battle Alabama. Now you're going to debut Downtime. Tell us, Hot Rod Jeff out of Littletown, Missouri. Tell us about this truck and this project.
Well, it started 4.5 years ago. It was pretty well a bare frame with some parts, with a drop member installed in the front and the rear from my good buddy Keith Terry, Lowlife 99. And it just kind of started and then snowballed. I started working on it and get the Heart Fab tubs, Porter built, Billet Specialties True Track, shot wheels, seat done by Shane Lyle from Sewn Tight in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Vintage Air. Ronnie Owens from Bernie, Missouri did the magical metal work on the bed floor. Raised it. It's all bolt in, no seam sealer, no rhino line. Crafty Bee gas cap. Just can't say enough about Ronnie Owens' work. And my good friend Rich Mutert from Innovations in Forestell, Missouri, put down the Exalta Nason base clear in a real short time. He fit me in where he had a busy schedule, and we got it done the Wednesday before Des Moines Good Guys, and then took it to Des Moines Good Guys and got late truck finalist of the year. I couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, she's a stunner. Who painted it?
Rich Mutert from Innovations in Forestell, Missouri. He builds a lot of top-notch winning cars in his little shop. It's not a little shop, but it's his own self. He does it by himself, and he cranks them out.
This, I believe you said, was about a 4.5-year build. Was there anything that you struggled with from the perspective of the vision on this build?
Yeah, the bed floor. I thought the bed floor was going to be easy with the contours of the side panels and such. And I just couldn't see myself doing that. After 2 knees and a shoulder replacement in 19, there's no way I could have done it. So a good friend of mine, Ron Heck from Jackson, Missouri, I asked him about his metal guy, he introduced me to Ron, and that was the best connection I think I made between him and the painter.
Now, what about the color? Did you always know you'd want to put a seafoam, which is really primarily, a 60 through 72 color? You don't see it much on a square body, first or second gen square body.
Well, I know I'd done built a red one, and I knew I wanted a factory type color. I struggled with this color or tan. My wife said this color for sure. She was being a retired art teacher. And I built a 68 this color before, and I actually had some paint left, and I just started putting the vision in my head, and I knew the color of interior I wanted, and the motor, I matched the motor, ground all the cast off the block and heads, and I think it come together really well.
Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence that your truck's here and she's here, but she's wearing a matching shirt as well. So I could see where she might want a seafoam color on there.
Yeah, like I said, she's a retired art teacher, and she's got a good eye for that stuff, and she pretty well lets me do whatever I want, and I couldn't be more happy with her either.
How about your wheel choice? You went with looks like a shot wheel. What about the style? Any struggles there?
Yeah, it took me 60 years to get a set of shots. That's how old I am, so never thought I'd have a set, but they're top-notch wheels, and I think they work good with it.
So you've built a lot of rides over the year. I remember, Project Ginger just from the forum days going back. It kind of dates both of us, I guess. I feel like as I listened to you talk about your build, you subbed out some of the best guys. You went with high, top quality product and companies. Is that kind of the lesson learned after, we do things the hard way, we learn, and then finally you get to the point where you're like, listen, I'm going to do this one the right way.
Yeah. Once you start, and once the quality starts coming together, there's no substitute for quality. You just got to keep rolling with it and find the money somewhere to fund it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of it. When you think about a 4.5-year build, it's not always just that it's time and money and balance, right? You got to pay the people doing all the work. You've got a beautiful truck here. Tell us about this motor as we kind of go around. He's got the hood up. What drive system are you running?
It's a Billet Specialties True Track system, Edelbrock Endura Shine, coated headers, Edelbrock carburetor.
Looks like some Ride Tech underneath there. I could see some Ride Tech strong arms. And then were you thinking fuel injection or just carbureted? I see it's carbureted.
No, I've got a garage, so I'm not up on the technology of fuel injection. So if this breaks down, I can rebuild this carburetor.
So you've got the front, the grill just kind of pops off, the bumpers, everything really good. How about the name? Did you just kind of come up with that?
Yes, I did. I struggled with that a lot.
I posted this about a week ago after you had debuted it, and I think the number one comment is, where do I get that, one of those emblems? Everybody wanted to know, so who made your emblems for you?
That'd be Glazier Billet Works. Yeah.
Glazier Billet Works, can you find them on social media?
Yep, they're on Instagram.
All right, good. So Project Downtime coming around full circle. I've got beautiful steering wheel. He's got billet door handles. Who'd you get those from?
Them are Delmo handles.
Okay, so we got Dell, good for you. Kept the wing window. Interior is less is more, my brother. Interior is stitched just right. Not a lot of doodads, just simple GM and just beautiful colors. He's got like a saddle tan with that seafoam. Hard to lose with that.
Yeah, and it's got 55 Chevy cloth inserts in the seats and door panels and Dakota digital gauges.
How about driving it? Have you been able to drive it as much as yet, or just trying to get it out there?
No, we just finished it a week ago Wednesday, so it's very limited.
How about the next show? Where are you going next?
Probably Good Guys in Fort Worth.
Excellent. Well, congrats on your Good Guys Award last week in Iowa. You're here. I guarantee you're going to take some hardware home. You're positioned in a perfect spot with a big, beautiful barn behind it. This thing kind of reminds me a little bit of Mike Slosh built Losh, but Slosh Tubbs. Yeah. He built Square Peg, and it has some of those colors. And I look at that barn, and that's what made me think of it, because they did that picture out in front of the barn back in the day. Cloud9 and Mama Losh and doing that. So Project Downtime is beautiful. Jeff, thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for keeping yourself busy in the garage and building really rad stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, BrothersTrucks.com is your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration parts. So whether you are restoring an original or looking to customize that classic truck, BrothersTrucks.com has thousands of the highest quality truck parts for you to choose from. So head over to BrothersTrucks.com and order your free catalog today. And don't forget to follow Brothers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates and special offers too.
Hey guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT-based power plant? We've got great news for you. PSI Conversion is offering our listeners 10% off your order. Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's psiconversion.com. And don't forget, use code C10TALK and save 10% today. Hey guys, did you know that US Mags and American Racing Wheels have true lineage to one another? And that US Mags was created in the mid-60s by none other than racing legend Parnelli Jones and his childhood friend Art Hale Sr.? Well, fast forward around 50 years and you'll see that Art's son, Art Hale Jr., who grew up in the wheel industry, obviously following in his dad's footsteps, acquired the name and the iconic American Wheel brand. Talk about rad. Amazing history, amazing story, and amazing wheels. Check them out at us-mags.com. That's us-mags.com.
What up, what up? This Blazer debuted, I think, last year here, and it broke the internet for a few days. So we've got Jeff Troyden, who's out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. He says he lives in the county here, so no wonder he debuted it here last year. I don't know the name of this Blazer, but it's a 78, two-wheel drive, and the biggest thing that Jeff did was he put some stripes on it, and from there it just went crazy. So, Jeff, welcome to C10 Talk. Thanks for taking time to be with us today. SCTN Coverage 2021. Welcome, and tell us about this project.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2018, I bought this Blazer from a buddy of mine in Kentucky. Originally came out of Oklahoma. Wanted to take it on the Hot Rod Power Tour that year. So we conquered the interior and got the US Mags and took off on the Power Tour on it. I did a quick tune-up on the motor, just made sure it ran good, did great.
Stock motor?
Stock motor, 350, runs like a champ. AC still blows cold air. I'm going to swap this motor someday, but I just don't have the heart to pull it out yet just because it runs so good. And then from there, I had visions of a variation of the Desert Fox stripe kit on here to kind of tie in the wheels and the plaid interior and the brown paint.
You did a great job. I think, were you surprised? Were you excited when you took it on Power Tour? It didn't have the stripes.
Nope.
I chased back onto your Instagram as soon as I saw it, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to look into this. So I saw that you didn't have the decals or the stripes.
Right.
And then you said, hey, I need to change it up. I want to change it up. One thing you said pre-interview was, I really like taking modern stuff, combining it, giving it that retro look, and you've done that. You've accomplished this with this Blazer. What was your thoughts as you laid down the stripes? Did it come out the way you were hoping?
Absolutely, yeah. I had drawn some stuff up, talking to a buddy of mine, and using the color combination of the wheels, the brown truck, and the interior, and trying to draw all that together and create the look that was cohesive throughout the whole truck. It worked out good for me.
What about the interior? You've got that, that mid to late 70s. It's sometimes people get it confused with a houndstooth, but it's a Highlander.
Yep.
And it's, I don't believe it's the Highlander from the 67 to 72. It's the Highlander for the squares.
That's right.
So it's a little darker.
Yep.
And
beige instead of white.
Okay, beige instead. Oh, there you go. So beige instead of white on the insert. Yep. So you really got a great 70s motif going here.
Absolutely, and that was my goal, is to take stock elements and then customize them and tweak them to this more like seats that got a little bit of bolstering in it and have more comfort, something like a Snowden seat, and then taking the Desert Fox and putting a twist on it and changing the variation of it just to make it look good and try to match it up.
So I can only imagine you get the stickers put on, the decals, you get the interior in there, you've dyed the door panels, everything's coming together.
Did some suspension work.
Suspension, the US Mags, the new labels. You had to be like a kid on Christmas morning when you brought it out here last year, and everybody around it was just like, look at this Blazer.
Yeah, and I loved it, but I didn't know how anybody else would receive it, and it got a lot of pretty cool compliments, and it made me feel good about it, and so I played off on that. And then a couple other people have done something similar to it now, so good compliments.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. US Mags, what version of those are they?
Mad Max.
Okay, Mad Max. And then he did for the audience, he kind of did some gold inlay, if you will, and I'll take a picture. You've seen it online, I'm assuming. It's Tinker's Garage, at Tinker's Garage, but I'll take a picture of it to make sure you can see it. It looks really good with the stripes. What's next?
So I did the upper and lower tubular control arms, coilover shocks, big brakes in the front, disc brakes in the rear. The next thing I want to do is 4-link the rear. and LS swap it eventually. But like I said, that motor is just running so good. I'm working on trying to get all the suspension dialed in. Still got leafs in the rear, so I'd love to go 4-link in the rear and kind of match up to what's going on in the front. Just put slosh tubs in it this week because I've got it low enough. I was bottoming out inside the original fender wells, so we got that all taken care of over the couple days this week earlier to get it out here. Got some undercoating sprayed on it and dried just in time to come out.
Perfect. Yeah, they look really good. I'm assuming those are the mid-level drop ones.
Yeah.
And then do you have AC, factory AC in there?
Factory AC.
So it's cut out for you, so that works real well. You're running the factory AC and you've driven it on Power Tour. How's driving it since you put all the decals on it?
Love it. Absolutely does great. Big attention getter. Get a lot of thumbs up at all the red lights, which is cool. Go to a lot of shows on it. I don't have a trailer, so I drive it everywhere I go. It's a driver, so it gets dings and dents, and I'm polishing those wheels all the time because they're a pain in the ass to keep looking good. So I did that during the week as well, but love driving it.
Cool. You said your wife is also a car girl. What's she think about taking the K5 out?
She loves getting out in this. She's got a 69 convertible Bug that we get out. She loves getting out in that too, but she's a big supporter of mine. Couldn't do a lot of this without her. She says yes all the time. I spend a lot of my money on these vehicles, but she's cool about it and actually is the one who presented me with the plans for my shop on my 50th birthday. So huge hats off to her for that.
Nice. Hats off and congratulations to you. Congratulations on, this being a success. I dig it. I dig your style. They can check you out at Tinker's Garage, correct?
Tinker's Garage, yep, on Instagram.
Okay, Tinkers, Tinker's Garage. Check it out, and you can see everything you want to do about this Blazer. Do you have a name for it?
I don't. I'm not a guy that names stuff, so I've named my shop because that's what I do. I go out and tinker on all my cars. I've tried to think of names for this. I never really have been able to come up with anything, so one day I said something about stripes and plaids, and that's about as far as I've gotten with it.
All right. I love naming stuff, so I'm sure I'll think of something.
You help me name it.
Oh, I'll think of something. My brain will be brewing. My audience knows that for sure. Jeff, thanks for taking your time to spend with us today. Love your ride. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming all the way from Arizona.
You got it. Thanks, Jeff. Sometimes I cruise around and you just see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This is a big boy truck. This is a rad 72 3/4 ton with a big ass lift, 44 Super Swampers. If that doesn't take you back to 1984, I don't know what does. Taylor, you're out of Rome, Georgia. Tell us a story on this truck. You just don't see big trucks like this that much.
I was going to buy a truck like this about 4 years ago, and the guy ended up selling it out from under me, and I just found another one in Rome and bought it and drove it for about 6 months and tore it all apart, and went through the whole process of restoring it from the ground up. Got a stroke 408 small block in it, 4-speed. Went back factory much as I could, but just wanted to have a big lift on it, and went to old school look with the 80, 90, early 2000 style, and that's about it.
Did you know that you were going to go this big when you bought it? Did you have like visions, and your plan was to go with a 20-some inch lift with a 44 Swamper?
Yeah, I was going to run 42s at first, and I did that for about the first 2 years, and it didn't set up as high. And one summer I just jacked it up by another 6 inches and run the 42s, and I found some 44s and put them on there, and found some Weld racing wheels and put them on there earlier this year.
What is the total lift?
20 inches.
And then you're getting it all out of spring?
Well, mostly it's got 12-inch springs, 4-inch block, shackle flip, drop spring hanger in the front, and 2-inch longer shackles for the front.
And it looks like you've got like a 4-link with a track bar. Is that just to kind of keep the axle wrap under management?
Yeah, keep slimming them new joints out because it had a problem with that there for a long time. I put them link bars on there and got forged yokes on both ends, so it drive shaft stay in there now.
How's it drive?
Drives pretty good unless it's wet.
Slip sliding away?
Oh yeah, you can't get in it none. You gotta baby it around when the roads are wet and it's raining and stuff. But other than that, it drives about like a Cadillac.
How much when I think about a truck like this, I think about tire pressure. Do you change your pressure much to make it ride, indifferent one way or the other?
No, I ain't never really messed with it. I keep it, about normal, about what it says, maybe about 10 pounds under what it says. I think I got about 30-ish in there, and it runs fine, rides fine.
What's a set of 44-inch Swampers cost?
You're looking at probably about $3,400, $3,500.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, they're expensive. I done some wheeling and dealing and trading and stuff, and ended up getting these for about, if you add it all up, about $800. So I had them 42s on there, and they gave me my money back because they had some issues with them. I just run them, didn't have no money in them, traded them off for some 44s, and so I really ain't got no money in them besides what extra wheels I had with them. Just sold them with it.
So I'm assuming a 14-bolt rear end, a GM 14-bolt 3/4. Is it a full float? And what gear ratio?
It's a full float 14, and it's got 456 gears in it. It's not lockered. It's just open. I ain't matched the front yet, but it's coming.
What steering are you using? What kind of gearbox? Did you beef all that up too?
I beefed the frame up, and I'm running a 2-wheel drive square body, 84, 85 steering box on it, and I built all my crossover steering for it out of DOM tubing. Used Heim joints, all that stuff, so it works pretty good. I didn't want to buy nothing like that, so I just figured I'd build it myself.
Did you do a lot of the work then yourself on this truck?
Done everything but the paint and body.
Now, paint and body looks phenomenal. He's got a two-tone. I don't know, what color blue is that? Blue on top, white, and then blue again.
It's awful like a newer model Dodge truck, Jeep, stuff like that. Just blue with a little bit of metal flake in it, and they made me pick a color for it, and I just didn't really have a choice. And I got to looking at it because it was time to paint it, and I just picked that color out because I liked it.
Yeah, pop this door if you would, and we could kind of take a little look inside here. And it's tough. I imagine getting up in there, but I tell you what, he's got it really clean. He's got a old school plastic coat vinyl, rubber style mats. And then he's got a good scrolled black 72 door panels, black seat, blue interior all over, blue dice to match the kind of the vibe. How do you get in this thing?
Well, I gotta climb up on the tire and hold up on the door a little bit, and I just jump right on up in it.
Have you ever thought about like an amp step or any type of thing that drops down? Or you got your little look up in the motor step. You could always use that, I guess.
Well, no, I ain't never really thought about that. People's told me about putting them on there, but I just ain't never. It just wouldn't fit my style, I guess.
Vintage air, what kind of, you running stock gauges?
Yeah, all stock gauges besides my tack. Stock style radios, just got AM, FM with a Bluetooth hookup, and all stock gauges, I run them. I don't have no aftermarkets running underneath or nothing like that.
How about brakes? You think a truck like this, you got a big ass truck getting rolling down the strip. What about breakage?
It stops pretty good after I put the disc brakes on the back. That's the ticket on this. I mean, I could run a Hydro Boost style, but it really stops pretty good with the way it is now.
Did you do a conversion, or did you get the GM rear end that has the disc brakes? I think like an 04, 05, 06 has the disc brakes in it.
I just bought the conversion.
What kit is it?
I really don't remember.
What size brakes?
I don't know that neither.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if it's a 12 in the back or what it is, if it's stock style. Obviously, you got some pretty big wheels on here. He's running the 44 Swampers. Are these 16-12s or what are they? What wheel?
16 and a half by 14, 8 by 6.5, super singles.
Humongous. Pop my head up in here. He's got a little step. I'll give you an idea here. I'm standing, and the bow tie from the 71, 72 grill is about at my neck. So you could get an idea of how big it is. Small block in here. He said it's been stroked out. 408, I think. 408. And then he's got a 4-speed behind it. Fun truck. I'm sure you get tons of looks. I doubt this is your daily. Do you drive it a lot?
Whenever the weather's nice, and I try to drive about once or twice a week.
Get a lot of looks in town?
It's never ending. Pictures, thumbs up. Constantly somebody got to look at it. It's never ending, all day long.
Well, and I was sitting here, the kids, the kids just love it because it's just, it's almost like a cartoon character. It's so big and gnarly, and the kids can stand next to it, and it's like a monster truck. I mean, a 44 Swamper, I'm going to guess that's just, it's almost 4 foot tall. The damn thing's so big. So awesome ride. It's definitely like, it just goes well. The blue looks almost purplish sometimes, and I really think it's pretty cool what you did. Anything you want to really, still to kind of come on this thing?
Slick the firewall, shave it and paint it, and powder coat the running gear and springs and all that, make it look a little bit nicer.
Is it a bitch to clean?
It can be if it gets dirty. I try to keep it as clean as I can, though. I won't take it off in the mud.
No mud bogging?
No mud bogging for me. Got too much money invested in it for that.
Cool. Well, we appreciate your time. Love the ride, and it's definitely one of those trucks that stands out. We appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Setn. I've got Clint Albert, Pleasant View, Tennessee. Clint and I have been kind of playing phone tag, not really, but every time I'd come up to where his Blazer was, he'd be gone, and then I'd come back, and then I'd be doing something. So thank you, Clint, for taking the time to be with us on Setn Talk. We just interviewed him on OBS Talk because he's got his original 90 that he had in high school. So that tells you what kind of cool cat we're interviewing here. All you cool cats and kittens out there. All right, the family truckster, kind of. It's a K5 Blazer. It's a 74. You put the wood grain on it. This thing is just, it's a stunner. You did a great job. I love the soft top. How'd you come across this Blazer?
Honestly, been looking for a year for something nice that I could get in and be about done with and just drive. And we looked high and low, and this one popped up, and man, when we saw it, just the color and the wood grain and the interior, and I was like, man, I can make this look good. Just we had to go get it. So we bought it, and we did a few little odds and ends, tweaked it a little bit so it'd have a little better stance, and threw the top on it, and we've been just enjoying it ever since.
It seemed like the guy you had it before you, maybe the second owner, right. He did a lot of cool things with it, right? And then you kind of came and kind of had to feel like a good thing that you just got to put your little touch on it and all the little things. Were the wheels one of those things, or were they already on it?
No, I changed the wheels, and I'm a sucker for speedways. I like them. I think we've got 3 sets at the house on trucks. But we put the speedways on it. I did the drop kit on it to get it down sitting good, and the top, and just redid the exhaust because it was real loud, and I'm getting old. And so we quietened the exhaust down, and just been, after that, we just been driving the wheels off of it.
What motor's in it?
It's got a 350, little small cam, set of headers, and it's strong, but it's smooth. We turn the air on sometimes when it's super hot, but it's just a cruiser.
I like that top. Did you run it without the full top? Again, this is a two-wheel drive 74, so it's a full top convertible. Did you take the top off a few times and then figure, hey, we need to get a little half top, soft top?
No, I bought it, and about 10 minutes after I got home, I took the top off, and it hadn't been back on. So we drove it a while with no top at all, and I had this on. I ordered this as soon as I got home. I was like, I gotta have this. I love the color of the top, and I knew it would be a lot handier and a lot more user friendly. So we drove it around with the top off, and most of the time it's either off or it's rolled up, so we can get some wind.
That's C-Nunn piping off over there with his big trailer. He's leaving. If you guys know, what is it, C-Nunn 70, I think. Yeah. Chris, he's a good dude. Back to the family truckster here. I love the green. You put the wood grain in. Was that an easy decision as well?
No, I bought it that way.
It was that way.
It already had the wood grain, and it was a factory green truck with a factory wood grain. So, no, I'm glad they did that, but it looks great.
I actually figured you added it and didn't think that it was a factory wood grain, so wow, that's even cooler. Yeah. And the interior looks all factory, looks pretty much original, so you got a jewel here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we love it. It's the nicest thing I've ever owned. I didn't think I'd ever have anything this nice, but we got it, and we're just going to drive it and enjoy it.
Yeah, you guys can check them out. The rain's coming in. I don't want to hold them much longer, so they can get on the road. We're ending it up here. What a good one to end it off with you, Clint. I love your Blazer. Obviously, we've been trying to get you on the pod here for a little while. Love your OBS. You can check them out. Was it ZZ3Guy1?
ZZ3Guy1 on Instagram.
Okay. You guys, you could check out the 74 K5 Blazer, kind of a family truckster tribute, if you will. And then you could check out Goldie, which is his 90 OBS. Thanks again, Clint.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you bought a C10, and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com. With a company history dating back to 1949, Airlift Performance brings a dedication and expertise to those looking for a life on air. Their 3H system combines pressure-based control with ride height sensing technology, harnessing both systems, including an intuitive handheld controller providing at-a-glance status of pressure and height conditions. Every 3H system comes standard with Bluetooth technology built right in, and a free companion mobile app allowing wireless control for most smartphones and mobile devices. Designed for a life on air. Airliftperformance.com. C10 Nation, what's stopping you? Well, CPP has you covered. They offer multiple different options to make the disc brake conversion as easy as possible on both you and your wallet. And I am so stoked to announce they are giving our listeners 10% off your total order. 10%. Damn, son. From stock height conversions to their Big Brake Grand Slam kit. How's your altitude? You need to get a little lower? CPP has you covered there too. They offer a wide variety of drop kits for you to choose from. Guys, take advantage of this 10% savings now. Head over to ClassicPerform.com, that's ClassicPerform.com, and use special code C10TALK. That's C10TALK to save big today. You've heard me talk about my gauges. Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. Whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. It's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too.
All right, best of show, wrapping it up. How about a 58 Apache? I got Craig Shornack out of Richmond, and this thing's a stunner. We had a good time just hanging with Craig and his son Corey and the crew last night in the parking lot last night, checking it out. And one thing that's cool about this truck, Craig, is some of the different things you've done with the lighting. And we got to experience that last night where all these people out here today, they don't even get to see that. And they still won Best of Show. Right. So welcome to C10 Talk. We'll call it Task Force Talk for this one. Yeah. And you won the C10 Talk Best of Show 2021 SETN. Congrats. And what do you think?
It's a hell of an experience. I won Best of Class and didn't expect to be Best of Show also. Yeah, I'm speechless.
And he brings up a good point. So UBT does Best of Class, and then C10 Talk, we do Best of Show. So you never know what's going to win. I kind of had you guys I kind of was a 1 and 2. I wasn't sure between you guys and Hot Rod Jeff has that little seafoam. Seafoam kind of color must be the key right now. So I had you guys kind of neck and neck. I'm really stoked that you guys won it. Tell us about the labor of love, how you got the truck, and everything you guys went through to build this rad ride.
We got it off Craigslist. It was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And in the machine shop, we have a water jet. And it's a tremendous amount of water jet and fabrication in this truck. And we just have our hobby shop is a hot rod shop. And we just have a good group of guys. Matt Grosso's done all the paint work on it. My son, Dane Kahn, we have just a big group of guys, and we just build, different trucks and cars, and it's just a labor of love.
Pretty cool how he even says it. Hey, we own a machine shop. We work all day, but if you want to hang out and, maybe drink a beer and work in the hobby shop, then they get to tinker on their rides.
Right.
And then this one's your ride, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
The boss gets to build a hot rod hobby shop ride, and you end up turning something out like this, and you win Best of Show. So that does, kind of gives us an idea of what kind of crew you guys have. Was it this paint? Was it in your mind when you picked it up off Craigslist? What did you envision happening with this truck?
It won't quite this. We started off, and Matt had came on board. He painted Corey's roof on his truck, and I said, hey man, can you just do something on my dashboard? And he did this lace work and everything on the dashboard, and it was on from there. You know, everything we did, it's all the way down to the drive shaft. Everything is paneled out and painted. It's just crazy.
How about your chassis? I know it's running a GSI chassis.
Yes,
did you know you were going to put it on the ground?
Oh yeah. The whole intention, we were going to build the truck like this. The whole intention was the lay rocker. That's the project before this one was a 30 coupe that it lays. We built the whole frame on that car. That car is on the cover of Rat Rod magazine. But yeah, that's our style. Patinaed, you know, we look for good bodies like this. This is a one repaint truck. Original floors, original steps, you know, none of that shit had to be replaced.
Okay. Now, I know you're running AccuAir, I believe you said that, and so many little mods that they did. He talked about some of the paint. They've got like a lace kind of thing going with it. You've got, you know, really the Indian coming off of the intake.
Yeah.
The shifter is like brass knuckles with another modified looking, I don't know, turbine looking engine thing. And then the interior and the floor, the aluminum on the floor, we kind of saw a lot of this last night. So was there one point there that you guys were really struggling with the identification of this truck?
Not really. I mean, it really fell together once the dashboard was done, and we already had the style. We knew it was going to be a full center lift on the bed, and we had heard about this aluminum flooring that Smokey's Road Shop does, and we purchased that and made some modifications to it and incorporated it into the structure of the bed.
How about wheels? Was that an easy choice?
Yeah, kind of. There was other choices, but the price ranges were really out there. And this truck over here was called low budget, and this one here was called no budget.
Is that still the name? Do you still call it no budget?
It was budget cuts over there, the shop truck.
Yeah, but this one is the high budget one.
Yeah, this is.
Do you guys have a name for it?
No, we hadn't named it yet. I don't know why we hadn't named it.
Maybe over budget.
We did say that a couple of times. It was over budget, but blown budget.
Yeah, blown budget. Speaking of that, I can't remember what motor. Go through some of the specs on the motor.
It's a 2012 LS3 out of a Camaro SS. It's got the 6L80 transmission in it, and we've got it running a Ford 9-inch rear.
Have you been able to drive it much?
Well, we finished the truck back in March. I drove it to the poster shop to have Montrose put carpet in it, and the next week we drove it for 6 hours to Myrtle Beach. Right out the box. It had 70 miles on it. When we come back home from that show, we had 900 miles on it.
What do you, kind of the response when people see it, especially when you have the hood up, they're seeing the stuff that you've done underneath the hood, the motor, the interior, all the little intricacies that you guys have. What is the response people get?
Confused. It's not something that's just bought. I mean, everything's designed, drawn out, AutoCAD, you know, and fabricated. It's pretty much a one-off, the whole truck.
So you had a truck before this. It was on the cover of Rat Rod. You've got this truck, blown budget. Mm-hmm. What's next? If you could build one, get with your team. You got. I don't want you to not enjoy this one. I just wonder if your brain's already thinking about 2 or 3 more.
We've got 65 Suburban. We got 64 C10 short bed. And a 65 long bed truck. So really not sure.
One of those 3, 4, 5, 6s, Suburban, short bed, long bed, either way. Maybe a little bit more.
Corey and his wife are getting ready to have a baby in January. We're thinking maybe Suburban next.
Okay. Good problem to have.
Guys working on a frame for Suburbans.
Sounds like that's a go then. So they got the GSI. Maybe we'll call that, baby on board budget. But either the baby on board bourbon, big sign on the back dangling. Craig, Corey, the team, we appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations on winning Best of Class and Best of Show. And we talked last night. We hope to see you at SEMA.
Yeah, man. Nice meeting you. It's been awesome this weekend. This is a hell of a show. First time here, but everybody here was really good to us.
Yeah, hell yeah, you're taking home some hardware.
The crew from GSI, they were they rolled us right in and saved us a space, and we were here all weekend.
Craig, if you had this truck coming to be in your booth, you'd save yourself a space too. They're smart for sure. All right, nice work, GSI. Scott, love him over there and the crew. We're going to sign out. Best of show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
We're wrapping it up. Setn 2021, and we've got the C10 deputy, C10 Club Tennessee, Mr. Setn himself. Brian, thanks for taking time. We just wrapped up the award ceremony. Those awards, you got a lot of really rad awards. Our hats are off to Bullock and what he does on those, obviously. First time out for me.
Yes, sir.
Great show, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate you coming out.
The amount of trucks, the quality of the trucks, and the variation of the trucks. You get a little bit of everything. High, low. There was a lot of OBS trucks out here this year.
A lot of OBS.
So you're done. This is your 11th show. The venue is phenomenal. For the audience, think Tennessee Fairgrounds. There could be a cow walking by, not really, but that's where we're at. We're in a fairground, ag type facility, grass and barns and coverage, and it's really good layout.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Here's the second year we've had it here. We've outgrown the previous 2 locations, so I like it here. I don't think we could outgrow it, but I don't think I will. I'll probably end up, hate to say it, probably put a cap on it before I leave here. I like it here, so we'll stay here for a long time.
Yeah, and I think you and I talked a little bit before we went on air. There's plenty of room, so you've got plenty of room to grow. You probably never thought when you started it 11 years ago that I think it was even GM Truck Nationals, and then you switched it.
No,
was that?
In fact, the first year I did it was 2010, and it was all trucks, all years, all makes. I didn't matter, Nissans, Dodge, and I had 100 trucks, and was just ecstatic in 2010 to have 100 trucks. Yeah. So it's gone from 100 to 85 and 11, and then 12 was like 68 or 70, and then that was all trucks. And then in 13, I took a break, went to Brothers for the first time, and John picked me up at the airport, and went to Brothers. Didn't do it in 13 because I was getting promoted at work and didn't think I had time to do it. Ended up and got back from Brothers and decided, let's just. I like Chevrolet, prefer GM, so let's just do all GM. So in 14, I think we had one. Had 85 and 14. It rained a little bit. I was excited and had 125 and 15, 225 and 16. Outgrew it, moved to another park, had 340 and 17, had 505 and 18, and had 707 and 19. And last year had over 1,000, and this year we had over 1,300.
I don't know how the hell you remember that, but that's pretty awesome that you remember all that. Yeah, you're a data guy. So you think you had probably over 1,300, a great variety. I did see some, I even saw some NBS, some Cat Eye. So there's a little bit of everything out here. The awards, everybody's happy. Anything you got to change? Anything you want to work on?
First time I've done 2 days. There's probably changed a few things. I keep a little thing on my phone, notes. When I think of something, I'll change some stuff. So maybe some vendor stuff. I liked everybody. We had 50 vendors, more than we've ever had. I think last year we had 30, and we were excited to have 30 last year. I had 50 vendors, and of course several of them came from, GSI came out from Arizona. Travis from Pro Performance came out from Arizona. Trying to think who else came out. They was by far the 2 farthest people that came, but from different places in Alabama, different companies have come through this way. So just probably do something a little different with the vendors, just kind of get everybody in at one time, and then maybe I can open up a little earlier on Friday, get everybody settled in. So what I don't like is it's such a large area, but it's flat. I don't want the vendors coming in and trying to move in while trucks are here. So I like to, trailers, I don't want to be getting hit. So probably just do that. Probably change something a little bit on the vendors.
Well, like you said, a little bit of a growing pain. First time for 2 days, 1,300 plus trucks. One thing you and I kid about back and forth is the biggest C10 gathering, biggest GM truck show east of the Mississippi, without a doubt, right? You're stacking them in. People are supporting you. You got a 2-day event now. You got more vendors than you've ever had. I talked to both GSI and Travis Pro Performance, and they had a great show. They're my homies from Arizona. That makes you feel good because there's a responsibility. If you've got vendors, you really want the vendors to do well.
Yes. Yeah, that's the main thing. I try to drive around at every year, at every show. I drive around and just try to get to every vendor and just give a good thumbs up. You okay? You need anything? Because I think we work hard. My family does a good. We do a good job. My family we did a good job this week. I'm not trying to kill each other while we're working on it and not getting mad at each other. We try to make a effort to not get upset, and because normally we may have in the past have gotten upset at each other and it ruined the week until the show's over with. with, but it's just a lot of stress. But it's fun. I mean, every year I think I'm not going to do it. Not that I won't do it again, but it's relaxing. But every year is growing pains. But every year I just adjust to certain things, and we'll fix it from if anything that I thought I did wrong, we'll try to make it better every year. So
yeah, excellent. I appreciate it. He got me a little buggy so I could run around. It is spread out, which I do like. It's just coverage is tough for me, but I like that it's spread out because everybody isn't really jammed in. Right, you have a lot more room. Kind of people can park wherever they want to park and group up however they want to group up. So, congrats again on another successful year and a great show. What I would say to the audience is, the more that you can pre-register, it helps you, it helps Brian, and when he opens it up next year, pre-register and help him out and get yourself all taken care of, and then you don't have to screw with it.
Yeah, I'll probably definitely pre-register. I'm thinking about it and seriously thinking about. I guess this is breaking news. I'm thinking about putting a cap on it next year. My fear is really if we have 1,300, we probably have room for 1,700 here. And what I don't want is I'd rather go a year early than a year late. Where you drive your truck out from Arizona and I got to tell you at 10:30 in the morning that I have no space for you. And I'd be mad if I drove 30 minutes to the show and they told me I had no room. I'd really be pretty pissed if I drove from, a long distance away, Indianapolis, Valdosta, Macon, Charlotte, and had to be turned down. So I'd rather, even if we set a limit at, say, 1,700, and then we realize, next year we realize, we probably got another 100 or 50 in that corner, then we'll up it a little bit. But I'd rather do that instead of kind of turning people down. That leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, I think, if you show up and get turned down. They're never coming back if you drove a long distance and you get turned away at the gate.
And we've experienced that with the Get Down. It got so big, and there was people that couldn't make the show. So you've got a 2-day event. I think, capping it at 1,600. You can kind of see how it goes. Hey, you're looking at pre-registration and kind of go from there. So we're going to wrap it up. Episode 219, Setn. Thank you, Brian, your family, everybody that you have that help you volunteer. From the cops are out here, the people registering, everybody. Great show, and we look forward to coming back. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate you coming out.
Wrapping it up, Setn. Late.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Episode 219, coverage from 2021 Setn. Do me a favor, jump on over, leave us a rate, leave us a review, share the pod, subscribe if you don't already. It means a lot. We appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back in a few weeks.
Go on. Get your ass out of here.